Well, thank you, Daria. We're going to give you an overview of the Army Reserve Cyber Operations Group. So we'll go to the next slide. Okay, we're going to cover the vision, mission, locations, where we fit within the 335th, the ARCOG organization, soldier talent, training and partnerships, and conclusion. Next slide. So as you can see on the map, the Army Reserve Cyber Operations Group is an organization that's existed since 2001, previously known as the Army Reserve Operations Command. The organization is spread out between the high-tech hubs within the United States and overseas with soldiers located in Korea, Japan, Hawaii, and Germany. Our vision is to provide a professional, adaptable, and resilient team delivering world-class communications, cyber, and operational capabilities for Army, Joint, DoD, and combined forces, the force provider of choice for commanders. Our mission is to provide trained and ready cyber protection teams to conduct defensive cyber operations in support of Army, DoD, and joint organizations. And our success depends on the skills of our soldiers that they bring from their civilian career force as a force multiplier. And you see some of the organizations that we'll highlight from the intelligence community, Silicon Valley, and academia. So as you take a look at the map, you'll see our cyber protection centers, our battalions. So we're going to move to the next slide. And the ARCOG sits within the 335th. 335th has two tactical signal brigades, has the provisional force forward in ARCENT, and the ARCOG plays a key role within the Southwest Asia Cyber Center, providing a bulk of the soldiers there since 2004. Additionally, the 335th has other cyber organizations or cybersecurity organizations that Colonel Chatfield mentioned earlier. And they're the U.S. Cybercom ARE, this ARE, First IO ARE, and a future Army Reserve cyber training element. The C2 relationship on order, operational, control, and assignment to our cyber. And we have the enduring mission that I mentioned, Southwest Asia Cyber Center since 2004. Next slide. Okay, the ARCOG provides trained and ready forces under the cyber protection team construct. Those are the various squads of the CPT, and we're located in the high-tech hubs. So we've got the Northeast located at Fort Devens, Massachusetts, the NCR co-located with the brigade headquarters in Adelphi, Maryland, inside the Army Research Lab, the Southwest Cyber Protection Center located at Kelly Air Force Base, co-located with the Air Reserve Unit there, and the Western located in Camp Parks, and the North Central in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Coriopolis. As you look, additionally, you have our headquarters, which has a cyber intelligence fusion center and a master cyber training team, as well as your traditional staff sections. Next slide. Okay, our talent selection. So we're a talent-based organization, so we're based upon skill set, critical thinking skills, and when we look towards the attributes of our soldiers, we're looking for soldiers that are agile and adaptive, disciplined, focused, work well with others. And in terms of talent, we're looking for domain-specific education, problem-solving capabilities, logical, analytical, and innovative skills. Next slide. Okay. The real strength of the ARCOG comes from our soldiers and their civilian employers. And as you can see, we've got just about every government, a large portion of contracting and corporate IT, Big Four Consulting, you just heard from Accenture. We've got the Big Four covered there as well, academic and financial services sectors. Everything from Uber to Google to IBM, large nonprofit sector employers such as MITRE, Battelle, etc. Next slide. Okay, so overview of our certified expertise, and as you take a look here, previously existing unit with a lot of experience in terms of your various basic skill sets. Next slide. Okay. As you take a look at the cyber training pipeline for the MOS can be up to 47 weeks of training. It's divided into 3 phases. The key piece here is CCTC, the core, and we've done some groundbreaking work. We had the first 3 master mobile training teams where CCTC was taught, and we had a very big success rate. Traditionally, the pass rate's about 75%. Our first mobile training team, we had 30 soldiers, and we had a 90% pass rate. Similar experience with mobile training team 2, where we had 100% pass rate, and then mobile training team 3. And we held them at 3 different locations. It was a big win in terms of cost effectiveness. The soldiers had recently deployed, returned from deployment. They were able to spend time at home with their families, didn't have the travel costs, the TDY, and really delivered results. And as a result of that, this upcoming FY, we're partnering with the Guard. We offered some seats to the National Guard, and we're having 7 mobile training teams. 2 will be for the Army Reserve, 3 for the National Guard, and 3 through CCOE. Taking a look at some of our public-private partnerships, the ARCOG has had long-standing relationships with a number of academic institutions. Our Northeast Cyber Protection Center has worked with MIT Lincoln Labs. Our Western with the Naval Postgraduate School. Our Southwest with UT San Antonio, which is a cyber center of excellence for the UT system. And our North Central with Carnegie Mellon University. And the most recent partnership was with Norwich between the NCR Cyber Protection Center. Cyber training exercises that the ARCOG participated in during FY17 are as follows. Cyber Shield, where we provided Blue Forces in support of the National Guard's cyber defensive elements. In this upcoming year, we're going to be sending our first 2 CPTs, part of their walk phase, prepping for FOC qualification in FY19. Cyber Endeavor is the ARCOG's Cyber Symposium, and the X Games are the training exercises associated with that. That symposium is now going to be in its 7th year. We've partnered with the Naval Postgraduate School Information Operations Center, and this past year was at Carnegie Mellon, and next year will be at UT San Antonio. In the past, we've held it at the Naval Postgraduate School and at MIT Lincoln Laboratories. Key Resolve is a long-standing effort in terms of the United States Army Reserve and the ARCOG providing support to USFK Joint Cyber Center. And we're now in our 3rd year of providing support. In the past, wrote some of the measles for the exercise, and same thing with Uchi Freedom Guardian as well, including participation in Japan with U.S. Army Japan for the exercise. And Global Lightning, Global Thunder with Space Missile Defense Command, we provided support there as well. In terms of other DoD and joint support, you can see the list there. We have the Cyber Intelligence Fusion Center, which has provided embedded support through DIA, has done a number of groundbreaking products that we really can't talk about in this type of forum. The Army Research Lab, supporting the cybersecurity service provider there, one of the largest in DoD, with malware analysis and incident response and handling support. Additionally, with the R Cyber G34, ACOEC support with incident handling, FUOps, U.S. Cyber Command, CMF support, both through our 335th U.S. Cyber Command, ARE, and the NCR with an embedded team there providing mission support on site. The U.S. Army Japan support is something I'd like to highlight. It's a big success for us. They approached us with providing a cyber planner for the first multi-domain battle exercise, Yamasakura. And we were able to provide an officer of the highest caliber that we received nothing but praise. He said, I'll only do it for 120 days. My civilian employer, Threat Connect, which he supports with DIA, and he was the DIA Junior Officer of the Year during his ADOS tour there. And he really provided a unique skill set in that they were looking for not only cyber, but they also said, can you send us a space planner? And I said, well, this particular major is an Air Force Academy graduate. He's space qualified. He's an armor officer. He's an information systems management officer, and he has that intelligence background. And he really played a key role in the planning. And he was followed on by one of our other officers who's an FBI cyber agent. And we're looking for a third rotation coming up. So that was a big success story for us. As I mentioned, U.S. Forces Korea and 8th Army. UCOM, we just returned recently from Finland, the FTX. It's a great fit for the Army Reserve. Finland does not have a state partnership. The state partnership for peace between the Army National Guard and various nation states throughout the world. They are a NATO partnership for peace country with a large reserve presence. Active army of only 12,000 full-time with a force of largely conscripts and a large reserve force as well. And they can scale to about 500,000 soldiers if needed. With the largest landmass bordering Russia, and obviously the threat associated with Russian activity in a large Russian-speaking population. Next slide. Okay, as we touch on some of the capabilities from our various cyber protection centers, I want to highlight what are our center of excellence within the ARCOG. And that is with the NCR, they have a set of expertise working with ARL, DREN, and U.S. Cybercom, malware analysis and incident handling down at the ACOIC. The Northeast is our ICS SCADA, and they provided support to U.S. Cybercom's Project C at the kickoff of that project approximately 4 years ago now. The Cyber Intelligence Fusion Center, which is now moved under the headquarters, and they have a very robust relationship with the Cyber Protection Brigade, Colonel Paul Stanton's brigade out of Fort Gordon, our active duty counterpart, and they work very closely with CPT 400 and 401. All the ARCOG battalions have a training affiliation with various CPB CPTs. The North Central has been involved in the persistent training environment, working very closely with PCTC, and we're very pleased that the previous battalion commander, Colonel Russ Griffin, is now leading up the effort with the PTE, persistent training environment for U.S. Cybercom under the J7. The Southwest has the relationship with Stratcom and RStrat, SMDC in terms of supporting Global Thunder and Global Lightning, and the Western, as mentioned, with U.S. Forces Korea and U.S. Army Japan. Next slide. Okay, so in conclusion, our success depends upon the myriad of skills our soldiers bring to the Army Reserve Cyber Operations Groups. Among our ranks are the technically skilled soldiers who innovate and lead cyber teams across government and Fortune 500 companies. Our soldiers bring their civilian acquired skill set and combine it with military service to provide the Army Reserve with cyber warriors skilled in both the art and science of military cyber operations. And the ARCOG provides those cyber capabilities to service component commanders to grant access and reuse their civilian acquired skill sets, which also aids us in attracting retaining high-demand cyber talent into the USAR. As I mentioned, the Southwest Asia Cyber Center, since 2004, we've been providing forces on a rotational basis. Now it's every 9 months. Provide approximately half of the soldiers for the CENTCOM AOR. And they've done some groundbreaking work. What I'd like to do now is briefly show you some vignettes. I know we're running very close on time, and then open the floor to any questions. So let's go ahead and move to the next slides. And this will kind of highlight the talent. We asked each battalion to only provide 2 soldiers to highlight. This is Captain Bennett. She is a Douglas MacArthur Junior Leadership Award winner. She was the first female soldier to lead the flyaway team in Afghanistan as part of our CAT teams, our computer assistance teams. And she did some pretty high-speed missions directed by the Pentagon and the White House during her tenure. Next slide. And this is Staff Sergeant Lydia Seaborn. She was the first honor graduate, female honor graduate of the 25 Delta course, and that's her on USA, Good Morning America, during the Army's birthday. Next to her is the Army astronaut, and she works in DHS, MPPD, CS&C in her civilian role. Next slide. Major Thomas Doyle is a cyber intelligence analyst with the FBI's field office. This is the Cyber Intelligence Fusion Cell. They're asked to come and brief on a particular threat that affected the White House website. And that's them in the White House briefing room. They have a variety of different language skills, native speakers, so everything from Russian to Chinese to Korean. Next slide. And Major Luong, the gentleman I was mentioning in terms of his support to U.S. Army Japan, part of that same team, and DIA CIO Junior Grade Officer of the Year. Next slide. Okay, Sergeant Malone, he's with Fusion X. That's an Accenture company. We just heard Accenture brief. And he is one of the developers on their new malware analysis and reverse engineering tools. Next slide. Lieutenant Colonel Randy Floyd is currently forward. He is the OIC for our detachment, supporting the Southwest Asia Cyber Center, and in his civilian capacity, he is the U.S. Treasury Bureau of Fiscal Service IT compliance auditor, and working towards his SES there as well. Next slide. We've got Michael Schrantz. He is a systems engineer with CST Brands, a Fortune 500 retail corporation. And he is not only involved in the defensive piece, and he was part of our first group that we sent down. So prior to doing these mobile training teams, we wanted to make sure we knew what the curriculum was. We developed a pre-CCTC curriculum for our soldiers, working through the P3I initiatives that we have with UT San Antonio. And those are we sent a warrant officer down from each one of our battalions to the first CCTC course. Next slide. We've got now Captain Mcgee. He's featured with the previous CAR, Chief of the Army Reserve. He's a lead development manager for Uber. And he actually came to us. He holds an MS in electrical engineering and computer science and a BS from MIT. And as you see, all of our soldiers, Captain Bennett, you saw at the beginning, is a Johns Hopkins grad working on her PhD. Next slide. And as I mentioned, Captain Mcgee came to us when he was stationed as a combat engineer in Afghanistan. Heard about the unit through the website, applied. We do have very strict standards, which if you're interested in the ARCOG for any of your family members or neighbors, you can pick up some materials at the front there. CW2 Garcia, unfortunately, has left the ARCOG. He's now with the White House Communications Office on an ADOS tour. He works for Silicon Valley Bank and is one of their lead auditors. He's also a 255 Sierra Distinguished Honor graduate. And next slide. And we'll wrap it up with now Colonel Brian Rivera. He is now the Network Assurance Branch, Division Chief at the Army Research Lab. And that's the that he led with the Southwest Asia Cyber Center and he has now left us to be part of the EPLO, the Emergency Preparedness Liaison Office, originally selected for the state of Maryland, which is highly competitive, but actually asked to join the organization at the FEMA headquarters, and he was down there for the hurricane relief. He's a BS, MS, and PhD in electrical engineering from Georgia Institute of Technology. So the long and short of it is these soldiers join the ARCOG. They stay for a long period of time. It's a good investment. We're looking, as soldiers are interested in coming off of active duty, to transition them and bring them into the Army Reserve if they're interested. There's a lot of benefits, a lot of great training. There's a network that was talked about in terms of really knowing people within the organization. In terms of civilian employment, we definitely have those opportunities, and they're socialized, and we really look for folks based upon past experience in working together. So at this point, I'm near my time, so I'd like to open it up for any questions you may have, and I appreciate your time and attention.